Hello and welcome back to another episode of NRL Unpopular Opinions. I'm your host Ryan Cook, and joining me like he does every single week is the main man Liam Fogarty.
Hello, boys.
Ooh.
How are we?
That was a very soft intro.
I'm in a new seat this week. You've thrown me out of whack, and I don't know who I am anymore. Simple as that.
I think you've been
having a real identity crisis.
You've been trying to figure that out for a long time.
Yeah, dude. If you've got answers, I'd love to hear.
It's a big question. Oscar Panafex is with us.
I'm here. I'm back. A little more reserved this week, but I'm keen to talk some footy.
Good to have you back.
Had a few nervous moments last week.
Yeah. A few learning moments, I think. A few learning moments.
We can't call ourselves unpopular opinions without an unpopular opinion.
No, that's right. Unpopular it was. I stand by it, but
6 again.
maybe I'll curve my
Play on, sir.
curve my tone a little bit. Be a bit less of a
Maybe
douche
hit the
about it.
chest, not on the chin next time.
Yeah.
Just grow up, Oscar. Yeah. That's my advice to you.
You're
Someone
too
get me a
stupid
mirror.
to realise.
And fresh from the blackjack table, he was rubbing shoulders with Tim Nakey over the weekend.
Yeah.
Give us some
How cool
lessons
is
here,
that?
Gerard.
Very, very cool. Didn't expect that. No, I went down and did some amazing stuff for the Broncos Leagues Club. Obviously, they're a big part of my program that I at the Broncos. But I went down there and did some giveaways and some before the game chat with the bloody brilliant Beers boys. And Tim Nakey was in attendance wearing his New Zealand Warriors jersey, which was great. Which was great. Obviously, filth of what happened over the weekend, but he had the balls to wear that, and we got the Chocolates boys were down there as well, which was really nice. Great blokes.
Shout
We've
out.
done a bit of work with them.
Yeah, cross-platforming. We were dipping our toes in each other's pools, whatever we want to say. But it was nice. It was nice to talk to him a little bit about punting, because we obviously don't know what we're doing, and he does. I love his terrain. I love everything about him, and he's a great bloke as well, so I can understand why people get around him.
Let's keep the focus in Queensland. We're going to start today's show with a bit of Finns chat.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Brand
3 in a row now for the Dolphins, surging into 11th.
Ever since I said I would never back them ever again this year, they've gone 3 on the trot.
Never doubt Wolfie.
The Wolf Ball.
I was at the game on Friday night, and I thought it was over within about 20 minutes because Paps was carving them up, and it looked like it was going to be a whitewash, and then the whole game sort of turned on its head. Finns have only been in the comp for a few years now. Is that their biggest win ever?
I'd say,
I think their first ever game against the Chooks, they
was
put
probably
50 on them.
Yep.
Number one, that's probably number two.
Derby win, maybe?
Agreed. I'm with folks.
yeah. Well, Derby win. They got us by 40. I would say.
Yeah,
I would say that's probably right up there as well, because Melbourne's track record at Suncorp Stadium is amazing.
It is.
Like, we don't, when they play the Broncos at Suncorp, but even after the game, Craig Bellamy came out and said he's never seen a Melbourne Storm side concede 40 like that before. So
It was only the second time Melbourne have lost after being up 16 points.
there you go, in the history of
their club.
20 odd years, wow.
So the Dolphins turned one on. Great game of footy to watch if you're a fan. Not if you're a Melbourne fan, though.
How were the vibes at the stadium?
Look, it was a bit flat, and the crowd wasn't all there. Like, Good Friday.
They never are.
No,
Yeah. Dolphins.
Yeah.
Got it.
Walked into that
layup.
I walked into that. Good Friday and I don't get the late kickoff, the 8 o'clock on a Friday is a little bit rough. Lots of Dolphins fans still, but I thought there'd be a bigger turnout with playing the Storm.
Yeah, true.
Oscar, you messaged me earlier on the weekend and said, let's talk Katoa.
Isaiya Katoa.
Yeah,
Yes.
5 try assists.
Is that what he ended up with? 5 try assists on the board.
Outstanding.
So they scored 7 tries, but the one I want to talk about is one of Ray Stone's tries, which Isaiah doesn't get the assist for. He touches. It's the one where Nikorima cuts back inside and does that mean flick pass for Ray to score. So that's the highlight reel moment. If you go back to the play the ball, Isaiya Katoa gets it from the left. On the left edge, he has 4 steps with the ball in his hand, and he engages 4 Melbourne defenders before passing Cody into space. Gets it, takes 1 step off his left foot, straightens up, and kind of slows down a little bit. That engages
his tempo, man, is amazing.
The tempo, The marker and A defenders immediately stop. He shapes to whoever he's got faking on his inside. That holds up, as I said, marker and A. And then he speeds up quickly and looks out, which brings in B. And then he slows down to sync with the Lemuelu decoy, which drags in C. So he's gone marker A, B, C with 1, 2, 3. And then he's able to slow right at the line, throw out the back to Nikorima. From there, Nikorima gets super deep, drops Farnworth back inside, finds Nikorima again, and the space is created. But he had the ball for less than a second.
Yeah.
He gets 4 Melbourne Storm defenders, and like that's not even a specific like set shape or anything. That's
him cooking.
That's just him having a general halfback receipt throughout the game, the whole game. Getting the ball, he was slowing down, fixing A, fixing B, and then creating one-on-ones for his forward.
The only other time you ever seen people do that play rugby league is when they tuck it under their wing and they're trying to step people.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like that's
and
how
Cleary is the only other one who tempos
He's
like
holding
that.
it out in front.
Yeah.
He's doing all these motions and still promoting the ball, so people go, "What is he going to kick? Is he going to pass, or is he going to run?"
Yeah.
Those 3 fundamentals in the game of rugby league are so important when you're a half. If you can get other teams to think that you're doing any of those 3, that's how you create space, and that's how he does it so well. He is the best at that in the competition right now.
Yep.
Like, Cleary is one, but right now he is the best in the position to do that.
The Lemuelu try.
Yeah.
I think
the double pump.
the Brandy. Oh, was it double? I mean, it felt like he pumped like 10,000 times.
Dude.
But even when his tempo on that was amazing.
It looked forward because of how late he passed
thought it wasn't.
and how he faded off the third pump.
Well, I think a lot of halves would fade back out of that pass.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He sort of went with it, which made it probably look like it wasn't a forward pass.
It was so good.
It was so good. I don't think I've seen a half double pump like that. Maybe Andrew Johns.
I was about to say.
Probably Andrew Johns. Like,
True.
it's crazy.
Cliffy Lyons.
Yeah, Cliffy Lyons. And it's so hard to do because you've got to really engage someone to even pump it, to double pump it. He's bedroom talk.
He's
double pump. Let's double pump, baby.
He's 21 years old. Like,
Yeah.
the next 10 years are going to be so good to watch.
And if we are thinking about people like Dylan Brown who have got contracts coming their way, what is his contract? The Dolphins better get their checkbook ready because it's going to be big.
Yeah.
I think they upped him last year, I think.
Yeah.
They got in early, which is good. But yeah, I mean,
21 years of age and you're doing things like that. It sort of reminds me a little bit of when Anthony Milford was playing at fullback for the Canberra Raiders, and really hard to handle when he had the ball in his hand. So, and we know what happened to Milf. He got a huge paycheck here at the Broncos, almost won a grand final. So hopefully he's on a trajectory that takes him, a little bit further on his career than Milf.
It felt like it was probably the best game Herbie's played for the last maybe like 12 months. His offloading was pretty crucial. And then you spoke about Ray Stone, Oscar. Josh Kerr played very well as well.
Kerr stepping up. Yeah, he's good for that, isn't he? A couple of games a year, he'll just go gangbusters.
Yep.
He's the big freaky man. That's what they call him.
He's hard to stop at the... Like, I think that's been very well documented, that I think when he's close to the line, he's a threat. He's just a big threat. So he might not score him all the time, but he gets over and he gets close all the time. So, yeah, what a footy side they're becoming in the last 3 weeks.
Finns have the Raiders this week in Canberra, so that's going to be a big test for them.
Great matchup.
We'll pivot though to the Broncos. Let's chat Reece Walsh. This injury, 4 to 6 weeks, we're being told, with a serious knee injury. And it sounds like Selwyn's going to transition to fullback. Initial thoughts on that?
I'd rather leave Selwyn. Personally, I would like to see Selwyn stay on the wing because I think he's playing his best footy there. But who do we bring in?
Dean's still in Reggie's.
Yeah,
It would be either maybe Hayes Perham. He's on the development contract. Or did he?
ACL.
He had another one.
ACL.
Then it might be Latrell Siegwalt.
Siegwalt.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I think Siegwalt, I think that's how you pronounce it, was good in the trials for us. I think he played fullback for majority of those games without Reece playing, and I thought he played well. He's obviously a bit more of a runner of the ball. I would like to see him stay on the wing, Selwyn, but that's just my opinion.
It's the logical move when you've got a guy like Dean Mariner or Deloise Hoyter sitting in reserve grade. You can plug one of them on the sting and play Cobbo for a few weeks. I was listening to the Magic Sponge podcast this morning. NRL physio suggesting I think it was a PCL injury for Walsh.
Yep.
Heaps of players play through PCL injuries or without PCLs But for a player like Walsh,
explosive as he is,
it's just going to take a little bit more. Even if he's fit in 4 to 6 weeks, is it going to take another little, a bit more time for him to get back to his best from an agility perspective? It's going to be interesting to see. They've got bigger problems right now, though, don't they? The Bronx. I don't think it's certainly not panic stations, but Ben Hunt had one of the worst games of his career on the weekend. That's my bad because I backed him to score a try. So I'll take the blame for that. But I think they're just figuring out some things. They got 2 guys in Renault and Hunt who, when it works well, they look like the most controlled, purposeful side in the competition, right? Those guys are both really good at first receiver. Probably not as good out in the second layer of a shift, which is where a lot of your problems are happening. Errors, push passes, whether it's Walsh or it was Ben Hunt on the weekend, where your fullbacks or your whoever it is, that second jockey out on the second layer near the tram lines is getting a lot of pressure and being forced into mistakes. So I don't know if they need to change anything, but I think it's going to be it's a good matchup against the Doggies this week.
I think it's a very interesting matchup this week. But look, they haven't been far away and thereabouts in their game, so I don't think it's panic stations yet.
No, I don't think. I'm not stressed.
If they fall out of 8, and you're at round 13 or 14, then you're probably starting
they're not doing that.
Freak out a little bit. But I think they're going to be okay. Big game this week for them, Bulldogs, Suncorp. I think it's a good game for the Dogs. I actually don't think there's a lot of pressure on the Brisbane Broncos right now. I think it's the Dogs' game to lose. They've got to come prepared. If they don't come prepared, it could be a really big upset because usually when the Bulldogs have come here, they've been under pressure. Sorry, not under pressure. They've come here with games they probably lost weeks before. They weren't amazing, but this is a big game for the Dogs. This could really stamp their authority because anyone that comes to Brisbane wants to put on a show. And if they don't, does that derail them? I don't think so, but I think that the momentum-wise, the Dogs need to fire up because the Brisbane Broncos could take them.
Makes for an interesting matchup because the Dogs we know they've got a lot of small bodies that work hard through the middle. I think what we saw in the Broncos' losses so far this year is that if you can contain Payne Haas and Pat Carrigan, then it goes a long way to containing the rest of the Bronx attack because they're creating, whether it's second phase or quick play the balls. And I think what the Warrior, like Barnett, Aaron Clark and Jackson Ford did a really good job last week of containing Payne, but not letting him skittle defenders.
I would say their contact was amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was good. It was they weren't letting them run over each people. So
and he wasn't bringing 3 or 4 guys into a tackle. Keeping his feet. So can the Bulldogs pack do that this weekend against Payne and Paddy or do it, I think Willison playing on an edge last week probably detracted from the Bronx power game through the middle as well. So, I like it. I think there's value in the Broncos head start there.
The man to my left is panicking because he's very quiet.
I'm not panicking at all.
When doesn't he panic though? You've had another big weekend. You're a bit scattered from.
No, I was a good boy over the weekend, just quietly.
Just too many Easter bunnies.
But what I took away from that Broncos game was obviously wet track. Hostile crowd out in New Zealand. Your back's always going to be up against it. I just don't think we executed the little 1%ers like we should have. Walshy hoofing that ball out, Hunty not getting the ball out to the drop out.
Yep.
Other than that, there was heaps of moments where I felt like we were right on top. We were comfortable. So the papers are beating us up and saying that it's panic stations, but I'm not stressed.
Warriors haven't lost at home this year.
Exactly, and
and your D's still fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The stat that
I just said fine. I didn't say great.
That's the greatest compliment my D's ever gotten. The stat that I heard on the Fox commentary over the weekend was if the Broncos, if they score 20 in New Zealand, they've never lost. But if they score less than 20, I think they'd won 1 out of 17. Wow.
So statistics-wise.
So, you've got to show up. And we weren't quite there. Benny didn't quite have the game, but he'll bounce back real quick. A bloke like Benny, he's fine.
Do we think there's anything in Madge switching things up in that last 20 minutes and moving Hunt to hooker and trying Billy out at 6?
They're testing what happens when Ezra comes back.
Yeah, I think maybe delivery from hooker wasn't the best as well on the back end of the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I felt like when Ben did step in there, you could see that they flowed a lot better. I felt like it. They flowed a lot better. I'm not saying that he wasn't it just wasn't his night in the other role.
Yeah.
So the reason why they moved him there, you can't take him off the field.
No,
if you take him off the field, then he's being hooked. But also he's got too much potential to be not in the game. So just another. Just one that got away, and I think they'll be right. I think they'll be right up for the fight this week. It's
got me excited for Ezra to return. Like a lot of people are throwing a heap of shit on him, and justified to a point. But I think just the way that he links with Renault, the way that he links with the backs, like I think we're gonna be looking real good.
Will it be the best spine in the comp? Once he
I think I'm the wrong bloke to ask that question because I'll just say yes flat out. Yeah,
maybe Melbourne.
Yeah, it'll be close. It'll be very close. They've got to make sure they, all know each other's cues and they gel together. But when you look at it on paper, you go, geez,
God damn,
it's a good footy side.
Now, Oscar, you went on a tirade last week, and I'm going to give you the floor again. I'm reluctant to.
I don't know if we should.
I'm reluctant to. But we've spoken a little bit about officiating already this year. The 6 again, the crackdown on head-high contact, to play the ball.
Yeah.
What is irking you when it comes to the refs right now?
What isn't?
Yeah, how long have we got, Rich? Can we clip this one up for? Yeah, look, I mean, it's easy to ref bash, isn't it? Like, I could get on here and say Peter Goff's looks like he's playing a game of Blues Clues out there sometimes, but like, something happened in that game on Thursday night that I think goes a long way to highlighting what's wrong with the officiating right now, and it wasn't Peter Goff's fault. Manly forced a short dropout. Dragons set up for the short dropout. Bring it down right on the 10-metre line. Peter Goff standing right there. He quickly says the ball has not cleared the 10-metre plane. So the 5 or 6 Dragons defenders who are in perfect position to regather the short dropout, they all freeze as soon as Peter Goff says it hasn't cleared it. Hamole Olakau'atu doesn't freeze, jumps on the loose ball, gets penalised, and then Manly challenge it. And the video ref shows that St George absolutely nailed their short dropout attempt. They couldn't have got it any better. It came down centimetres over the 10-metre line. And then, as I said, they had 5 or 6 players there ready to regather possession. So Dragons nail the attempt. The ref gets the call wrong. Manly actually concede the penalty.
Play on, yeah.
But the video ref shows that the ball cleared the 10, Hamole ends up with the ball, so Manly retain possession. And anyone with half a brain can look at that situation, as Damien Cook did on the field. He asked Peter Goff, hey, we only stopped because you told us to stop. It's a mutual infringement. The play should just be replayed. They should have done the short dropout again. I'm sure if you ask maybe not Manly. If you asked Jake Trbojevic, he probably would have given it to him to take it again, right?
Yeah.
And instead, Peter Goff says, sorry, mate, that's the system. That's just how it is. That's the problem right now. We got so many rules and red tapes and fine lines and input coming from the bunker and touch judge officials. The guy on the field who makes the actual decisions, he can't do anything so much of the time because there's so many other rules and factors at play. So, yeah, that was just one isolated example. I'm no Peter Goff fan, but that was a really good example, I think, of rather than just saying the refs are shit, like there's things going on that's forcing them
back
into
to 2
these
refs,
corners.
you reckon?
No, I think
Dear, oh dear.
this wasn't my point, but I think the point I'm trying to make is Jake Trbojevic needs to become a referee. I think
Speak
that's
up for
where I've
yourself.
ended up. Yeah.
Worked for Cam Smith, so I mean,
Oh, wow.
That was a much more PG rant from you,
Thanks,
but I
yeah.
like it. I like it. Before we get to Hog of the Week, we got to pivot back to Newcastle. Gerald, I think it was about a month ago, you said that they might be the worst team in the league and you liked them for the spoon.
Yep.
You got to be feeling pretty good about that right now because they cannot score. And if you're not back in the under on this team, you should be because it's free money.
We said this though, like if it breaks down with KP, it breaks down, man.
Yep.
And that's, I'm sorry, Newcastle Knights fans, but if you can't see that, you're delirious and you're one-sided because when it doesn't go right for him, it doesn't go right for their side, unfortunately. And he cannot be everywhere, man. He just can't be everywhere. He can't do everything. He does get paid the big bucks to do it, but they need their spine. We spoke about it at the start of the year. They're just not there. They're not there, their spine. And I don't know if I've ever death rided a side every week more than I have.
for the spoon?
No, I didn't. But every week because I didn't like them, and they started off okay, but I just I just didn't like them. I didn't like the look of them. There was a lot of people who gave me a spray. A lot of my friends who were like, "Well, I think that's bullshit. I think you got that one wrong." But they are proving to be the side that are going to keep falling down the ladder. I mean, we're watching Parramatta. I mean, I know it was only the Tigers, but they come good yesterday. Well, not come good, but they got a win. But I just think Newcastle are average, and I think they'll lose the games that they should win, and that's why I think they're going to be wooden spooners, and they're falling down. What is that? How many they lost in a row now?
4?
Yeah, 4 in a row. So,
and their attack's not looking any better.
No.
That's the biggest problem, right? As we spoke about Phoenix Crossland's service from 9 being a problem. We spoke about the lack of cohesion in a squad where you've got a genuine halfback in Jackson Hastings. You had 3 different 5'8" in Will Price, Tyson Gamble, and Jack Cogger. Just haven't been able to settle on a winning formula. And it's left KP. There's been some moments where he's looked really good coming in at first receiver and trying to dictate terms around the ruck, but the defence just compresses. Like if KP's coming in at pivot, that's where the ball's going. So you just put an extra defender on that side of the field.
Read, yeah.
And then when he's out on the edges, I think I spoke about this last week. Teams now, the defending centres and wingers know if KP's putting himself out in the jockey position on a tram line, you just got to get high and stay high, and it cuts off the passing lane. He threw a couple intercepts on the weekend, unless it might have been someone else. But he just gets put into cul-de-sacs out there, and unless, like I said, he can beat 3 or 4 dudes and create something himself, there's not much else going on for the Knights right now.
And Newcastle, man, like I've got to say this because a lot of people whinge about the Brisbane Broncos getting Friday night games, right? They get Sunday games every week. They get a long turnaround every week. They had a Thursday game in there, which was an extra long turnaround. They honestly... They've got no excuses at the moment.
And they've had a soft kind of draw as well.
Yeah.
They played the Finns. I think they played the Tigers twice.
Tigers,
yeah.
They'll have, by round 10, they'll have 2 Friday night games. So, and a Friday night and a Thursday night. And the one that they had, the Thursday night, they didn't play till Sunday. So that's like a 13-day turnaround. They should be fresh every week. And they're playing Sunday Arvos, man. Like... A lot of players would kill to play a Sunday Arvo footy game. It's the way that they get prepared for a grand... that's how you prepare for a grand final. Like, I know it sounds weird, but Sunday afternoon is the grand final. That's how you should be looking at that if they don't want the last game of the round. But Sunday, they get a lot of long turnarounds, so they should be fresh every week, and they're dishing up that.
Their defence is good. They do a lot of good things off the ball. They work hard. Their systems are good. Like their kick chase is one of the best in the comp. But they're just not scoring enough points. I mean, 14 points on the weekend, that's the most they've scored in 3 weeks. One of them was a Greg Marju 100-metre solo effort. And the other one was Fletcher Sharp, I think, running off a quick play the ball. Like that's not first-grade attack, is it? Like
and
when KP's in the team.
Week 1, they were... everything was through him, right? He was...
Well, week 1, they won 10-8 against West.
Yeah.
And then they won 26-12 against a Redcliffe side in round 2 that didn't want to tackle.
The writing's been on the wall.
And then since then, it's 6 points against the Titans, 0 against the Dogs, 4 against the Tigers, and 14, call it 10 against the Sharks.
Yep.
Yeah, it's troubling signs.
I hope I get this right. There's one thing I got to get right. So they get wooden spoon.
Well, they go to Christchurch this week to face the Wars, and they haven't won in New Zealand since 2019. So if you're a Newcastle fan, switch off now. It's not going to be good.
Gets worse.
Let's get to Hog of the Week. We missed it last week, but we're back.
It's perfect sounds.
I think the 2 most obvious ones are Mitch Moses, and we've already spoken about Katoa. So, Oscar, I'll throw to you first.
Yeah, I've already gassed up Isaiah. So, yeah, I mean, Mitch Moses, I think he had 4 try assists on Monday afternoon. But the difference that one player can make to a team, just the decisions he makes, his kicking game in yardage. Like, we said this about the Bulldogs a few years ago. They weren't the strongest yardage team, but Matt Burton kicks them 70 metres on 5th tackle. It doesn't matter. Moses does the same thing. Parramatta's pack, respectfully, pretty middling, but it doesn't matter because he can get him out of trouble. And then just making some gorgeous decisions. That pass to put Kelma Tuolangi over.
The kick at the end.
And the kick at the end, yeah. We've seen Dean Hawkins, again, respectfully, tried to execute similar looks in previous weeks and just couldn't nail it. So Moses makes the hard stuff look so fucking easy.
And he's not the para half that got all the money either. So, I mean, how much is he worth?
A Moses Galvin halves combination though, that's going to be that's going to be. Lockie has a lot of similarities to Mitch when he first came into grade as well. A running half who can, like, a triple threat, but a dude who plays both sides, runs. So it's going to be an interesting look for the Eels when it happens. Is going to be the next question.
Bailed from the Tigers.
Do I get one?
I was just going to say
like one.
the wooden spoon market we spoke about just before. Knights $4, Titans $4.25, Eels $4.50. So that's changed significantly in the span of a few days.
Yeah.
Jarrell, hog of the week.
Yeah, I'm just going to go Metcalf. I think you have to have a hog to
He hit it with his hog.
like. I think you have to have the way he was kicking. I think you got to have balls to go. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to
because he missed a couple.
Because he missed 3.
Five.
There you go. He missed 4.
5.
He missed 4
On the weekend?
Yeah.
And
Really?
Yes,
before
bad.
setting up the winner, he was 1 from 5.
Yeah. So that's so.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
and you know what? I think I've got an apology to give Metcalf as well, because at the start of the year, I did, not run him down, but I said I didn't think he was a half. I didn't think he was a ball playing half. And over the last couple of weeks, he's sort of come into his own. He's starting to steer a team around, and he's playing a lot better footy. And on the weekend, he put a pretty good Broncos outfit away, and he steered them around and kicked the winning goal for him. So yeah, I got to give mine to. It sucks to be able to do it against my team, but I think he had the balls to do it, and he played rather well.
No Broncos bias. So
No
respect
Broncos
that so
bias,
much.
respect, yeah.
You're a true member of the media.
No, I'm not. No, that's fuck that. No.
Fogs, anything from you?
Yeah, Ray Stone. Just love him.
If you're in just love him. I can't disagree with
Yeah, he's fucking sick, man. Just runs through people. Love him.
If you're in a prison fight, are you picking him? There's no one else.
Not to fight him.
Not to fight him, but to be on your side. He's
Yeah,
number 1.
100%. If I'm in
If you're
jail,
in prison with him,
something's gone
you
horrible.
are his bitch. He is definitely rubbing your nipples, and you're just sitting there. Just
if I'm in
enjoying it.
jail, I don't think I'm getting to the fight. I think I'm long dead.
Brian, you?
I said Moses at the start. The other one I was looking at before is Seb Chris, who, from a betting perspective, always is around $2, $2.50 anytime. I think he's sitting like 2nd or 3rd in tries this year.
That left edge is good.
Yeah.
Always finds a way, doesn't he?
He's always value. So
And that's Gerard just reminded me, talking of how big Luka Mikiafu's hog is to kick from 50. How about Tom Starling just 1v1ing big Reg?
Yeah, I'm
and
telling you
forcing
this,
an error?
Reg is not going to lie. I text him, he didn't text me back. I text Reg. I text him, I said, uh-oh. And I've got nothing back from the big dog, so he's going to hate it.
Mate, that was like the Raiders were getting pumped at that point in the game, and Tom Starling, all 65 kilos of him or whatever, has just gone straight at Reg.
Come here.
Mana on mana. That was unreal.
Is Reg's nose okay?
don't know.
Holy, man, they'd use that much toilet paper.
I need to put a tampon up there.
Mate,
Shout out, she's the man.
Honestly, it looked like he had half his brain coming out of his. It was sitting on his mower at one side.
It was great.
And I was like, turn it off. Get it off him.
People were like trying to tackle him. They were like,
Supposed to be and every time he'd hit, it would just go, just come out. There's half his brain, man. They needed to. He lost a lot of blood.
That's why he couldn't reply to you.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the fuck.
he's
lost-
a vegetable.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of the poor lad. He's got a big body, so I think he'd be all right. But geez, that was
big body
That
and
was
a
some-
big hog from Tom Starling.
Yeah.
We love a big hog on this show. We're going to come back. We're going to have a look at a handful of ANZAC jerseys, jump into the multi, and then we'll wrap up. You're listening to NRL Unpopular Opinions. We're about to have a look at some of the ANZAC jerseys that the teams will be wearing this coming weekend. This went quite well for us on social media last year, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, we need people on side again, I reckon.
We've lost some fans. Not pointing fingers.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Raiders, who are rolling out this green number against the Finns. Initial thoughts on this one?
I
lads?
like it.
Is that Kokoda Trail?
Might be.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'd I'm going to say something controversial. here.
Not again.
Yeah, here we
Oh, let me take a back seat.
Yeah,
hang on.
no, this is on me. I don't like the jerseys that look like fishing shirts.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And the majority of the ANZAC jerseys look like fishing shirts. I understand the heritage.
Colour and the
Just the
the
big,
vibe.
the pattern and the image. I've never liked how they just look like fishing shirts. A lot of people love fishing shirts.
Yep.
A lot of people go fishing. I don't. You know, so but there's some good ones coming up that I do really appreciate, but the fishing shirt designs not for me.
Okay.
Too much fish.
Yeah, but that's a cool guy. That's a real cool guy.
That ain't living, Barry. You're not a fan of BCF?
Oh, I don't know if
No.
that passes the pub test. That one, folks.
I like it. I like it.
let me
I
roll.
like it. I'm a big fan. Oh, yeah.
Now the Finns,
Sharp.
the Finns rolled out a
Well
similar
done.
one to this
Yeah.
last year that was white. I don't love like the cartoon sort of brick look.
Yeah.
It looks
true.
a little bit like Comic Sans for me, but
The rosemary above the logo is pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
the black is very nice and the
black and
sunset
the-
looks good.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it the sunrise?
The sunrise,
though?
sorry.
Because it'll be, yeah.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. Big fan. I think they've done really well. They've obviously implemented it with their black jersey, which is, I actually think it's really nice.
The Finns jerseys are just growing on me as a whole.
They are.
Like,
I didn't-
The heritage jersey
Yeah.
is very strong.
yeah, they've got a good group of
Yeah,
designers.
good.
there.
Like it.
Dragons haven't really thunk outside the box for this one
What
too
did they?
much.
What's on different?
but
Oh, it's on the side.
I'm here for it.
Subtle is also nice as
Yeah.
said. I mean, and you know what? St George, I'll say this: you have to stay traditional. I believe,
Yeah.
like for how long they've been in the comp. Traditional is key.
Yeah.
I'm a big traditional fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. I like how they keep their jerseys very similar to home ones, so I don't hate it. They've obviously got a little nice touch
Yeah.
on the side, which will be
little poppy or something.
yeah, poppy on the side. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's all it has to be.
Yeah.
But
No
who
fishing
is-
shirt.
Who's Squadron Energy? That's not their normal sponsor.
I don't
is it?
think so. I thought that as well. I'm not sure.
It must be for just for this round.
And collar.
Yeah, I didn't even
Big
notice
thumbs
it.
up.
Yeah, big fan of collars.
Big thumbs
Big
up.
fan.
Titans.
This might be the best jersey the Titans have ever put out.
Okay.
I
Apart from the
absolutely
sponsor,
love it.
the sponsor
Sponsors-
takes your attention straight away.
Sponsor's terrible. I know that there's
I'm not
There's-
sure what's going on. What's different?
there's a really good story about this.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There's a subtle camouflage trim on the
And
sleeve.
Sorry.
Keep up your arm.
The chevron,
Apology.
like the V and the chevron's incredible, and it's the stories about a bloke from maybe the Currumbin Surf Lifesaving Club (RSL) that fought, and he's kind of put
okay.
this together. I think that just the design without that f***ing terrible lottery office sponsor. Shout out lottery office. I think that's the best jersey they've ever rolled out. I love it.
Yeah, it looks like Norse Devil, so I'm a big fan. Big fan.
The Storm. This is an interesting take from the
Ooh.
Storm. Bit of a checkered pattern.
Come on, boys.
Oh, it must be something to do with
Let's
the
be honest
planes.
here, boys. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
No, it must
Hey,
be something to do with.
Hey, let's be honest.
I don't know.
Really? No,
It
I
looks like a
disagree.
soccer jersey.
But-
Reminds me of the flannelette Waz jersey from a few years ago.
Nah, that was. That wasn't. I'm not a big. Wasn't a big fan. of that one.
I think the fact that it does look like a soccer jersey, I think
Yeah, I
do
think I like it as well. That's
Yeah.
why. But it must be something to do with the ADF.
Air Force
yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
I think
there's
they have that
planes
on the
it.
back.
Okay.
Looks like it's been made on Canva.
Wow. All right. Interesting.
Not a fan.
What do we got
Fishing
here?
shirt. No good.
Oh, this is. I like this.
There's
as
a lot
well.
going on here, but it's the image is still
Storming
subtle.
beaches.
The Cowboys Anzac shirts are the most popular because they've got a big military base
Yeah,
up
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So these
Yeah, I like
ones
it.
are always very
I
important.
don't actually
to get
hate
right.
any of them.
Fishing shirt. But then, you get a few grass stains on that. You can't see the detail of.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Are they? Yeah.
That's the
like-
back of the cows. This is Penrith's.
Yeah, very similar to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do like it as well. But it looks. Oh, it's very West Tigers like. It looks a little bit
That's
like a West
true.
Tigers shirt.
They've put a lot more effort into it. Like last year, I think they just threw a poppy on their jersey and like, yeah, that'll do.
I like the flags on the shoulders too.
And I think the other thing we've probably got to understand is there would obviously be some people from the army that would be involved in
Yeah,
this. So
yeah, there's
there's got to be. You probably got to know the stories around them
Yeah.
as well.
What do we got here?
South?
That's
Rabbitohs
South.
one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rabbitohs one is very strong actually. I think
I
this is
like
my
that a
favourite.
lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's off Nemo. They are. No, they're the things off the underwater.
Sea mines.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
What are you laughing for? That's how I know them. But
Credit to South, it's an improvement on last year's one.
Was that one looked like the Roosters jersey?
They got a lot of hate. It had it was navy themed again, but they had like a little sailors.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
It was like a
tie thing.
Bulldogs away or a Storm
it was blue
away
and
jersey.
white.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't mind this.
I like that a lot.
Would you spend the 160 on this, Oscar?
You know the answer to that, my good friend.
This is the Chooks.
I think we've seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just playing the
I
hits.
like their collar, actually. It's different. That's different.
Yeah.
That's not like...
What have they got that's...
It's actually just a normal...
on here?
I think
Why have they got... Never mind.
it's
Next.
that's all it
I think I
needs.
know where you're going.
Change it.
We're going to leave that right there.
All it needs to be.
And that's all we've got released from the NRL so far.
We might get a few more.
Yeah, before Friday. All right,
Okay.
we're going to come back. We'll jump into a multi and then we'll get out of here. You were listening to NRL Unpopular Opinions. It's that time of the week where we jump into a multi. And last week didn't go so well. Myself and Oscar got our legs up in the Sharks Knights game.
You must be flying. What's your record?
We'll get to that in a sec. Gerard, you took the Titans head to head.
No, I did not.
Oh, sorry, Fogs.
I
you
did,
took the Titans
yeah.
head to head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gerard took the Broncos to cover.
Yeah, to cover,
against the
yeah.
Wars. So the records, I am flying, as you said, Oscar, 6-2.
Yeah, well done.
JYY and Fogs, you've both fallen to 4-4.
Shit.
Oscar's on the slide, improved at 3-5.
I reckon you could
areas.
almost say you're home now. 6 and that's a big lead.
Yeah.
I reckon no tattoo for you.
I can hear the needle buzzing for
yeah.
another bloke on this.
I don't know who it is though. There's 3 of us in the running, but I don't think it's you now.
It's a long
I just got
season.
to say this to Rain Man. If I end up getting it, I've just got a job here for the rest of my life. Like,
Yeah.
If
You're
I get a
branded.
tattoo from Neds,
We'll make it a Ned's tattoo.
Come
Yeah.
on.
That'll knock it in.
Yeah. Fire.
Gerard, you got the first leg for us this week.
Yeah, look, boys, I am just going to go with my boys, the Bronx. I know it seems pretty boring because I'm an ex-Broncos, but $2.55 they're paying to beat. I think the run comes to an end at Suncorp Stadium just before ANZAC Day. I think there'll be. We've got a couple of people that work in the club that have been very involved in the army. So.
Shout
I
out
believe, shout out Walshy. I believe that there'll be a big emphasis on that this week and how important it is. And obviously Julia Robinson, obviously, who plays for NRLW, is in the army as well. So
True.
I believe that they'll be up for this game. And obviously, having lost to back, I don't think the Broncos will go 3 in a row, and I think it'll be a bloodbath at Suncorp Stadium on Thursday night. So I'm going the Broncos at $2.55.
Bold. Fogs, you have the second leg for us?
Yeah, Sydney Roosters Dragons is the matchup I'm looking at. I know it's a different Dragons team to last year, but the Chooks put 60 on them Anzac Day last year. Roosters a very good price at $1.78. They just win, Ryan.
You've bet against the Dragons before.
I fucking hate the Dragons, man.
I'm noticing a trend
I hate
here.
the Dragons. They're no good.
I'm going to take the same leg I had last week, the under on the Knights. Under
Yeah,
16 and a
I
half
looked at it
points. This is, we've spoken about it at length. They can't score and they're on the road in Christchurch. I can't see them scoring that many points against the Wars.
What's their line, sorry?
16 and a half.
Yeah, no chance.
Yeah.
And Oscar, you have the fourth leg.
I'm anchoring us on Sunday afternoon, staying in my lane too.
Yeah.
Cronulla Sharks -5.5 against West's Tigers. I think a good halfback exposed some of the things Wests aren't doing so well still at the moment in Mitch Moses last week. And I think Nico and Braden Tricky Trindle can do the same.
Queensland zone.
That is an alternate
That is
line.
an alternate
we
line,
should
yeah.
add. So we've got the Bronx head-to-head, Roosters head-to-head, under 16 and a half on Newcastle. Sharks alternate line -5.5, $13.73.
Yep.
Fogs, where can we find it?
Find it on Ned's open groups. Probably your profile. Probably all the rest of our.
Find it in your
we'll be-
wallets.
Yeah.
This thing,
Oh hell yeah!
It's landing.
I don't know what sound to make. I was just making a sound. So.
I thank you for
that's
making
the sound the app makes when you land a winning multi. I'm pretty sure.
Boys, let's get out of here. What are we looking forward to in round 8?
I'll be bold. Rabbitohs have never won at Amy Park, I believe.
Why'd you take them in the multi then?
Because I don't want that Michael Cheekham tattoo that much. Paying $4.10 against the Storm. You'd be a brave Bunnies supporter to back them head to head, but I think there's value in the line. South's disappointing last week, but they've been a super resilient outfit all year, and I think they might be able to keep it close against an injury hit Storm side.
Gerald, who are you hanging out with this weekend?
Junior rugby league's back all round. Obviously, my job in game development. So I'm just saying, junior rugby league's back. It's footy's back for all the kids everywhere this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So to all the parents and all the volunteers that do all their jobs to get out there to get our next future stars. Thank you for that, and look forward to going watching some rugby league over the weekend at the local. Because the Opens are all back as well.
They're back.
Let's go.
Fogs, our old teams are playing on Friday on ANZAC
Yeah, they
Day.
certainly are.
Are they?
Not against each other, but
Don't go watch that, guys. It's
The
boring.
the
Brisbane Uni comp.
Uni footy is back, and they always Anzac Day. It's always a massive sort of carnival situation. So I don't know how my Dragons are looking, but
Shout out the mighty UQ Hounds.
Go down to Arana.
Woof,
Not
woof.
doing anything on Saturday.
salary sombreros. I think UQ Hounds have got a big one.
Kev McKell Oval. If you're not doing anything, the pig pen will be open. Come down and say hello. We've got a new star-studded side that'll be taking.
You got a new shape to run as well.
Yeah,
out on the centre.
Yeah,
I've
been talking to some nerd about rugby league.
Giggity, giggity.
Fogs, you're off to AFL land again.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Are you
not
serious?
not for like I'm doing 24 hours down there.
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay.
Nothing crazy. Not
Sorry,
sticking around
Rich,
for the
you don't
big
have to bleep
games.
that. Oh, no, don't bleep it.
I've got to go home and mourn the Pope's dead, boys. So my Catholic guilt is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So,
When did that happen?
Last
Anyway, who cares? Let's go. Move on.
All right, that'll do us. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Fogs. We'll be back next week.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website